Anthony Brindisi. Prepare yourself. We're planning to take out anything inappropriate that you say. We'll eliminate it. Post the audio as if you never said it. We're here only to protect you. Good morning, Assemblyman Brindisi.
I'm so happy. Thank you very much for that.
Yes,
Speaking of protection,
great protectors. Apparently, I wasn't wearing any, and or maybe it was Anthony. Where does this whole baby thing come from? Andrew's thinking that maybe it's that I'm carrying your water.
You're carrying my water?
I guess I'm the one having the baby.
I guess. Okay. You're talking about. Was there a picture or something?
There's a new one. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but I appreciate you doing that for me.
Well,
I think it's going to be a pretty ugly baby. But,
I do. It's going to be awful. This is going to be the ugliest baby ever.
Poor thing.
Yeah. Sadness.
Why are you on the phone today? Why didn't you come in studio? You pulling a Claudia Tenney? You want to just talk on the phone?
I just want to talk on the phone. No,
right.
Andrew texted me at 10-something last night. Said, "Can you get in?" I'm like, "Well, I can call on the phone if you want me to." But now the session's over. I got to get back in.
No conspiracy, by the way. Andrew was short on the program, and was like,
"We need filler."
For those questioning anything, there's no conspiracy here. But you do have obviously the funding for these military assets out at Griffiths. This is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. This is something that Senator Griffo, myself, and Assemblyman Miller worked on in the state budget this year, and we're able to secure $1 million for assets at the Griffiths Business and Technology Park. And I think what a lot of people don't realize that just the Air Force Research Laboratory alone has about 1,000 workers there and has close to $400 million in economic output. So it's probably the key anchor to our regional economy, and this funding will help secure its continued existence here in the region, boost up some of the drone technology that's happening at the business park, help the Central New York Defense Alliance, whose job it is to fight back against any BRAC cuts down the road. So we want to make sure that we're protecting our military assets because they are not only doing work protecting our nation and our cybersecurity, but they're also a key economic driver for our regional economy.
Yeah. What did it go towards some bit of security out there as well for the facility?
Well, there's three different pools of funding. There's one that's going towards the drone project to help them with some equipment upgrades to really make them the true leader in that kind of research and development. There's money going towards construction of a new facility for NISTech, which is an agency that works with state and federal governments and the labs on cybersecurity and things like that. There's funding that's going towards the Central New York Defense Alliance. They're the entity that's really was set up years ago to help coordinate with state and local officials and federal officials to protect against any BRAC coming to our area, and have been successful over the last few years in doing so. But we have to continue to be vigilant. Other states recognize the importance of their military facilities within their borders. They make investments to help with infrastructure and other things, so it's less attractive for the Defense Department to come and close them, and we should do the same, and that's what we're doing here in New York State.
How is it? Obviously you're running for Congress, and we're probably at one of the most volatile times that any of us can remember. At least in modern times. Who knows? Maybe it's even worse than that. But what's it like out there on the? I mean, do you run into people that just attack you? You see what the president gets when the president goes out. There are people that like there's a Democratic staffer that was just yelling "F the president," and Jim Acosta from CNN was at a Trump rally last night, and people were screaming at him. It seems like we've gotten to the point where you can't have a differing philosophy on life and on government without being screamed at. Are you feeling that?
I got to be honest, I'm really not feeling that in what I'm doing, and I'm doing a lot of town hall meetings across the district that are open to the public, and we've had a lot of people come who've asked good questions, who have asked tough questions, but they have been civil in the process. A lot that I have seen has happened in the news, and it's disgusting on either side of the aisle to be screaming at the president or to be people inciting hatred against members of his cabinet. There's no place for that, just like there's no place for yelling at opponents on the opposite side. Yeah. We got to get back to civility in this country. That's the one thing that's missing. And I don't know if it's the social media or what really is fueling all of this, but there's just no more civility, and people feel the need to just say whatever they feel like saying, no matter how offensive it is or how untrue it is.
Yeah,
we got to get back to a point where we can at least sit down and listen to each other, agree to disagree, but respect one another's opinions.
Obviously, the Congresswoman is having a telephone town hall. You've been somewhat critical of those because of what? Why are you critical of a telephone town hall versus an in-person town hall?
My preference, the way I have always held myself as a member of the Assembly and what I will do as a member of Congress, is I'm going to have open town halls that are open to the public. You don't have to have your questions pre-screened. My staff is not selecting which questions which questions I'm going to answer. That type of process is not there when you do a telephone town hall. You have questions that are submitted in advance. You have your staff screen those questions. You answer the questions you want to answer, as opposed to just going to the town halls that I've been doing the last few months, where you come, I point to you, you ask your question. I don't know what it's going to be, and I'll give you the answer after you ask the question, and it's open to everybody. So to me, that's the way I handle things. She chooses to do a different thing. I respect that. I don't agree with it, but every representative, I guess, is different.
Yep. And I want to ask you, you've been all in on Nano, all in on a big part of the hospital downtown, although it's pretty much now in the hands of MVHS. And other projects that have been done here. For instance, Nano, one of the criticisms has been you're going to have to answer to the fact that nothing has happened there. How do you answer that question when somebody hits you with that at a town hall meeting?
Well, I disagree that nothing is happening there. We have Danfoss, which is there now, which is ramping up their production on the SUNY campus. That's a great company that's going to be doing even more in the region. We did lose out on AMS, which was a disappointment, and I spoke very loud and clear about my disappointment over the loss of that project, but I didn't bury my head in the sand and go away so the public couldn't find me. I stood front and center and said, I'm going to work hard to make sure that we can keep this funding here because it's important, but also work to attract another company to replace AMS, which decided not to come.
Right.
We're doing that now. That's what elected officials are there to do, to represent the area in good times and bad times. That's why I was critical of the governor after that company left, because I felt he wasn't coming around to really help the area heal. But we're here. We're going to continue to push forward, and I know that this technology is not going away. And if we can land a company, and there is much interest out there from companies, then it could help really create some good jobs for people in this region. All
right. Assemblyman Anthony Brindisi, we appreciate the late notice and you taking the time this morning. Thanks so much.
Anytime. Thank you.
We'll do it again.